Greetings, everyone. This is Payman Lozzi, your host, your friend, your coach. Today, I have another great guest for you, my new good friend, Tobi Page, from the U.S. She's based in Indiana, in a city which has a very French name, Terre Haute. How do you say it in English? Terre Haute.
Terre Haute.
Okay, in French we say Terre Haute, which means highland. And yeah, and we connected to the Certain Circle. We had a beautiful conversation. Was it last week or 2 weeks ago? And from the get go, I knew that I had to bring you in, and here you are. So, just a little bit about you.
Thank you.
Very welcome. You started a new life, a new business. Before that, you worked for 12 years as a dietitian. Did I say that correctly? Dietitian. Yeah,
I say dietitian.
sorry, thank you. I was just thinking of
That's
on the
a,
French way. A dietitian. Yes, that's it. Thank you. And then she realized that diets don't really work. And she's here now to change that one person at a time, one diet at a time. And we're going to unpack all of that. And yeah, so Toby, welcome, my friend.
Thank you so much. Thank you so
Ple-
much.
Pleasure's all mine. So tell us, for the people who don't know you, we're going to talk about your business and all that later on. Tell us, who's Toby as a person, as a human being, and as a woman?
Yeah, those are all big questions.
Let's get the big one out of the way, right?
It's like which one of my skeletons should we talk about first? No, just kidding.
The whole thing.
The whole thing. Um, yeah, I was thinking about, gosh, how do you sum it up? We're all so multifaceted, right? There's so many
Always.
things, so many aspects of our lives. We're here, we're there. I'm a daughter, I'm a wife, I'm a mom.
Mm,
Um, I have a 25-year-old son who's living still in Portland on his own. So that's very exciting to have the bird fly the nest. And interestingly enough, my husband and I currently live with my parents.
wow.
So we are here on kind of a bit of a journey. I'm sure that there are some bird lovers out there that know of these birds, and I don't know the name of them, but they fly, their migration isn't a one complete migration. They fly like halfway and then they hang out there for a while and then they fly on again. So we're being like those birds. And, this is a very big country. And a lot of us, including myself, don't really know what's out there in our very own country. And I've spent my whole life on the West Coast. So I grew up in California. I moved up to Oregon. Definitely identify as a West Coast girl. So living in the Midwest is very different. And it's neat to kind of be here and feel how different it is, to feel the difference than when I go back home. And so I'm excited to kind of travel around and see what it feels like in other places.
Love that. Love that.
So,
I'd like to start with I'd like to start with a series of rapid fire questions to further get to know you as a person. Ready?
be ready.
What makes you happy?
Hiking.
Mm. What makes you smile?
My husband.
Oh, that's beautiful. I love that answer. Okay. What uh what makes your heart sing? What sets your soul on fire?
Mm. When somebody has the light bulb go off and they understand how to
Oh.
intrinsically feed themselves and no longer feel restricted and shamed and guilty, and they feel
Mm.
free. And they say, it's because of those things you taught me. And
Free
it's
like
like
a bird.
my purpose just, I just that just really fulfills my purpose to
Yes.
to know that I helped somebody find that feeling.
Love that. Now, on the other side of the spectrum, what makes you sad and angry?
It's funny. I don't get angry much. I really don't.
Good.
It's hard to make me angry. I think I have kind of like my anger is like turned way down. Um, I don't like it when people say they're going to show up at a certain time and they don't.
Oh yeah.
That
Uh,
makes me angry. And then, I mean, 5, 10 minutes, okay, okay. Stuff happens. But give me a call, right? So I
yeah,
think that's what
seriously.
would make me very angry.
It's common sense, seriously. Courtesy,
Courtesy,
So
just, yeah, respect my time, respect me. Just tell me you're going to be late.
respect
Yeah.
yourself
So,
because you want to be respected, respect others, then you're gonna get it back.
yeah, that's
I'm
what we
completely
say.
with you. What what would you say is your number one personal superpower?
Um, I feel like I am good at understanding what other people need in the moment.
Mm,
And I'm able to hold that space for you if you need it. I'm able to get in there and joke with you if you need that. Um, but I do feel like I'm pretty good at caring for other
mm,
people when they really need that care. Um, and just knowing what do they need in that moment. Do they need me to be quiet and just sit here?
mm.
Do they need me to do something for them? What do they need? I feel like I'm pretty intuitive at knowing those things.
Awesome. How important is it for you to smile and laugh?
Oh, that's what I do all the time. I'm like Buddy the elf. Smiling's my favorite.
I know. That's beautiful. When was the last time you had a very hearty life, a type that, makes your cheeks hurt, your stomach is turning, and you almost have tears of joy and happiness, and you just can't control it.
When was the last time I laughed like that?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm starting to learn to draw. I'm trying to
Mm,
teach myself to draw.
wow.
And so, of course, I drew a flower and I drew an apple, and this is what beginning drawers draw, things like that. Well, then I decided the third thing I was going to draw was going to be the profile of my husband sitting on the couch.
Mm. Does he
And
know about it? Does he know? Did you tell
yeah,
him?
yeah, I said I'm gonna draw you because I like looking at you, and he said, okay, fine. And so he was just on his phone, and I drew him, and oh my gosh, I was laughing so hard at my picture that, oh, and he's such a sport.
Was he laughing
But
too?
he couldn't see it.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that made me, you did. You must have just had to be there, but gosh, it made me laugh because he just
Absolutely.
let me draw him as an amateur, and it didn't come out looking quite
Oh,
like
practice some other world skills.
keep going. Yeah.
Exactly. You know, um, what I was about to say. Oh, what is one thing that you used to value that you don't value anymore?
Mm. Oh, their questions are getting harder. Um,
First thing that comes to mind.
okay. Looking good when I go out.
Oh,
So I I'm much more likely to just throw on a hat and a sweatshirt and just head on out rather than to check in with how I look and make sure that I look okay and that I have makeup on.
as long as you smile, that's all you need. That's
That's
the
the
most
first.
beautiful thing you can wear. Any person can wear.
Right, right. A hat and a smile, and here we go.
Speaking of smile, I heard a doctor on a podcast before saying that if every doctor in the world would prescribe 1 hour of mandatory smiling and laughing to every person in the world within 30 days, 90 to 95% of all ailments would be gone because majority of illnesses are due to stress. And when you smile, you laugh, you make your body toxic for disease and sickness. So smile as much as you can.
I heard that smiling
Mm,
actually squeezes some glands in our
mm,
face
yeah.
that signal those happy endorphins. And so literally just like putting your face in that configuration of smiling actually
Hmm.
changes your body's chemistry
Oh,
and
totally.
brings happy hormones. So if you're down in the dumps and just really struggling, if you can just literally fake it, it it will give you some positive endorphins.
Or watch whatever's going to make you laugh, whether some comedies, some cartoons. I love watching French comedies or cartoons. Don't laugh. Yes, I do watch cartoons. You know, do whatever you can
There's some
to.
good ones.
Absolutely. Yeah. Tom and
There's
Jerry,
some
you
good ones
know.
these days.
I don't watch TV. I don't know what's good these days, but I like the classic Tom and Jerry and stuff like that, you know.
Okay, the
Oh,
ones we
yeah.
grew up on.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Nothing better than starting the day with a good dose of laugh, you know. So
I love it.
keep
I
laughing. You have
love
a
it.
beautiful laugh.
I
Yeah.
never thought of going back to my childhood and watching cartoons while I eat my cereal in the morning, but that might have to be my new routine.
Seriously, not just in the morning, anytime, just like you said, you're in a funk or whatever. Hey, just listen to something that's gonna elevate you, you know?
I mean,
So,
Wile E. Coyote, it's hilarious.
oh, Sam the Pirates and, you know, Tweety, you know, Speedy Gonzales, all of them, you know? Oh, man, that's amazing. Cool. You like traveling, don't you?
You know, I I would love to have done more traveling in my life. I definitely have
Mm.
not done enough. Um, I've done a lot here at home. I went to college and had a baby real young and raised my child, and there just wasn't really much time or budget for
Mm.
traveling too far. So I think where I've been traveling is like we'll go out camping, we'll go to the forest, we'll go to the beach, we'll go to the mountains.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, now there's like new things to explore. So
Yeah.
new cities. I wouldn't say I'm too much of a city person, so I might like go check out a city for a night, but I would rather go to a lake, to a mountain, something
Hmm.
like that.
Beautiful. We can do an entire episode on traveling, but I like to take you down memory line, a different type of traveling. Go back to when
Oh,
you were
time
growing.
traveling.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Go back to when you're growing up. You know, when we were kids, people around us, friends, family, relatives, teachers, neighbors, always ask us, "Hey, Toby, what do you want to become when you grow up?" What was your answer to that as a little girl?
Well, I wanted to be a hairdresser like my mom
Oh, cool.
when I was little, and I wanted to do that until high school.
Mm.
And then in high school is when I wanted to be a dietitian. So I've only wanted to be two things in my life. One was a hairdresser, and I did do that to get through college. So I worked in a salon and did hair for a number of years while I raised my baby and got through college, and then got out of there and became a dietitian.
Speaking of, do you have any tips for me how to can make my hair more shiny, more
Right?
voluminous, you know, especially
Yeah. Yeah. I just get a little wax and
yeah,
rub it around. That'll make it nice and shiny.
front and back or side to side waxing?
Any way you want. Any way you want. You
Top to
can part
bottom.
it over on the side.
Awesome. Noted. Thank you. I'm glad this is recorded. I'll watch it again. Cool. Uh, let's stay when you were growing up. Growing up, what was your relationship with school? Did you love school or hate school?
I was not a good school. Mm-mm. Not good at school. I preferred to play than to do schoolwork. I wasn't
Mhm.
much of a reader. I wasn't very good at math.
Mm.
I wasn't really much of an artist. I like to watch cartoons and I like to run around and play. And school was not that fun for me. I didn't really like it. And I didn't get good grades. I passed. I got my C's, I got my B's, and Um, I remember when I went to college and I came back from my first term in college and I had straight A's.
Wow.
And I showed my mom and grandma and showed the family, look at these good grades that I got. And they were all so surprised. They
Is that
just,
you? Did you steal that from someone
yeah,
else?
did you cheat? No. They had just never really expected that out of me.
Mm.
I hadn't done well in school my whole life. It just never lit me up and wasn't what I was into. And so it wasn't so much of an intelligence thing, which was something that I learned later in life, right? Like I
Mm.
grew up thinking, well, I'm about average smartness. I'm not a very smart person, but that's okay. And you know, then I got to college and all of a sudden I got good grades. I was like, well, gosh, there's just something because now I wanted to do it. Now it was something I was interested in. And
Mm.
so that was a big growth step for me to understand that I was smarter than I thought.
Well, you are smarter than you think, for sure.
I guess, yeah.
Well, what was your favorite subject in school?
Recess.
Sports, gym, cafeteria.
No, I wasn't into sports either. I wasn't into art. I wasn't into PE. I used to forge notes from my parents. Toby hurt her leg and
I'm
get me
proud
out
of
of
you, Toby. I'm proud of you. Close.
Gosh, I just didn't. Maybe that was the problem there. I just didn't. They didn't have classes on. I didn't have cooking classes. They didn't have nutrition classes.
Mm.
Um, I mean, I didn't have a favorite subject in school. Recess,
Okay. Was there any subject couldn't stand that you didn't like at all?
that I hated. What was my
Yes, with a
least
passion.
liked? Oh gosh. History.
Ah, why?
History was like because it was just names and dates, names and dates, names and dates, and it was just
And that
like
people.
I don't care. It's over. It doesn't matter to me. I couldn't relate it to myself at all. I couldn't connect with it. It was just a
Mm.
timeline of memorization. I found history to be so boring. And now, of course, that I understand what's happening, I mean, I don't know. Trying to teach history to underdeveloped brains sounds difficult anyways, but now that I get it, I'm very interested in
Mm.
American history and, world history and just so I do lots of reading about history of food and because food is really my everything.
Oh yeah, as a dietitian for sure.
Well,
Absolutely, yeah.
dietitian's just my label, but food is my life.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Um, Imagine that we were in the same class in grade 10, 11. What kind of student were you? Were you the shy one, the quiet one, the chatterbox, the cheerleader, the
Oh.
superstar?
I was the one cutting class and going to get tattoos.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Rebellious, huh?
I know. I told you school wasn't really my jam. Yeah, I mean, I did other rebellious things in school when I was in elementary, but you asked
Mm,
for high school, so I was looking for trouble.
Miss Trouble, huh?
Yeah.
Uh, how popular were you with the boys in school?
Mm. Well, I never considered myself to be popular.
Mm.
I learned later on that the boys thought I was cute. And I never thought anyone did. I didn't have any boyfriends until senior year. And I never thought that boys liked me. And then later on, I learned that actually lots of boys had crushes on me.
Oh,
And one of them is now my husband.
so tell us about that. How did you guys meet?
So we met in high school.
Oh,
He's
cool.
actually He's 3 years older than me. So he was
Okay.
actually the brother of one of my besties' boyfriend. Okay. So my bestie had a boyfriend, and this was her brother, or his brother, sorry. I tried to say it more clearly. Um, and so we'd hang out, and so he's 3 years older than me, and that was scary to me.
Oh.
I hadn't had any boyfriends, and then all of a sudden,
Hi,
this guy,
Grandpa.
well, it was like, oh, he's so grown up, he's gonna have expectations of me. And he actually took me into San Francisco on a date.
Oh, wow.
So we lived just about 45 minutes outside of the city. And he took me on this fancy date to a restaurant on Pier 39 in San Francisco.
Mm.
He really wanted to impress me, but I was scared to death. And I kept him at more than arm's length all night long. And bless his heart, he got me off. He got the hint that I was not going to give him a goodnight kiss. And then we just remained friends, and we
Mm.
kind of went on our ways in life. We both went and had some children, and then
Oh,
15
wow.
years later, we came back together, and I say it was like magnets. We've just been stuck together ever since.
Meant to be. That could be worth an entire episode just by itself. Wow.
We have a great story, yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah, awesome. What was your very first job? And do you remember how much you get paid the first time you worked?
Okay, my very first job. Well, my very first job was cleaning the hair salon that my mom worked in.
Oh, okay.
And I don't really remember. I think I got paid by the day, not hourly or anything. So I got paid by the day. I probably got like $10 a day or something. I don't know,
Wow.
to clean
You
that
remember how you
salon.
spent it on that first paycheck?
Mm. Probably on fingernail polish or makeup would be my guess. That
That,
would be my guess as to where that money went.
that's a good one. All right, cool. Let's move forward. How would you describe your path from the moment you left school to now? Would you say you were, as soon as you get into one lane, you were set for life, or smooth sailing, or was it more like turns and twists, like a roller coaster?
Oh, oh yes. My life is definitely much more of a roller coaster than a straight path.
Mm,
Um, it took me about 10 years to get through school.
okay.
So, I had my baby and ended up being a single mom. And so it took me a little bit extra time. I was actually a hairdresser, so I did hair to get
Mm,
through school. And so fast forward 10 years, now I've graduated. And in order to be a dietitian, in this country, you need to go through an internship program that's about a year long. And so I applied to the one that was local and I was denied.
mm,
And I was like, oh, dang, this is all I've ever wanted to do since I was, a freshman in high school is be a dietitian. This is what I want to do. I'm going to try again next year. And so the year went by. I ended up getting a job in the field teaching nutrition, and I applied again and did not get accepted again.
mm,
Dang. Now, there was another program in town that took more people on, but it was about 10 times more expensive. And here I was, a single mom. Like, I don't have that kind of money. I need to get into this program. I'm not willing to move and relocate. This is what I've got to do. And so I got some more work experience. I got some more volunteer experience. I joined some professional organizations. I really beefed up my resume, and boom, I got that internship on the third try. Couldn't be happier. And I had finished my internship and I was studying for the exam.
mhm,
And of course, I was all tense, right? So I went to my chiropractor to get some relief. And he says, "Well, what's got you so stressed out?" And I told
mm.
him, and he said, "Oh, wow, you're gonna be a dietitian? Well, would you ever want to like have an office here?"
Oh, wow.
I was like, "Oh my gosh, yes, that's my dream come true. Like, if you're saying that, don't be joking around because that's my dream come true." And he said, "No, I'm not joking. I'd love to have a dietitian in the house." And so he actually gave me a killer deal to start my business. And that was that we would split my proceeds 50-50 up to our agreed upon rent amount. So I was never going to lose money.
That's amazing. Wow, love that.
Isn't that an amazing deal? Yeah. And so it was like he didn't really need the money. He just
You're
wanted to
kind and
have me as
generous. Wow.
super, super. He just wanted to have me as part of his wellness, center. And I mean, wow, what a great way to get started. The first month it was like I made $100 and I gave him $50 and said, thanks for the rent. Um, so anyways, I worked in the chiropractor's office. I ended up moving into a gym space. And then I ended up over in a family practice setting. So I was a dietitian inside of a family practice office. That was probably the best fit for me.
Mm.
Didn't really do much sports nutrition, so the gym was kind of not a great fit. The chiropractor's office, they ended up wanting to do some different things.
Mm.
Um, but then I really found my people at the doctor's office, and then COVID happened, and
Oh,
that
yeah.
just made everybody's roller coaster go off the rails, right? So I used to go into the office 5 days a week and see clients in person. And since March 18th of 2020, I have been at home, um, seeing clients over virtual telehealth. And I started to feel like that was not enough. It wasn't enough for me. It wasn't enough for the world.
Mm.
I was sitting in my tiny little bubble, telling one person at a time all
Mm.
this great life-changing stuff, one little starfish at a time.
Yes.
And I love the starfish story. I will save every little starfish I can. But I know that the messages that I've been sharing with people over the last 12, 13 years need to be shared bigger than one at a time.
Loud and proud around you and around the world. Absolutely.
Yes, yes. And so I went to a business coach and I said, I need to do something bigger. Something. I don't know what it is. And he said, well, why don't you have like an online course? And I was like, it needs to be bigger than that. That's not big enough. Well,
University. How about that?
so he says, why don't you make an app?
Oh,
I go, oh, I love that idea. That is an awesome idea. I could totally do an app. In fact, I, have all these ideas of how this could work. And I said, that's a great idea.
mm.
And so I started off, um, something just happened.
Yeah, I just put my
Oh,
note
okay.
taken and the should have done it from the beginning. My apologies. Okay.
Oh, okay. That's okay. Um, anyways, uh, where were we?
The app.
The app. Oh, okay. So the app. So I was like, this is great. I totally have these great ideas. When COVID happened, the American government was just throwing money around like crazy, and I benefited from that. So I got all this COVID money, and I had all these big ideas, and I was like, this is great. So I found an app developer. And we started working on building an app, and it was so fun and so cool. I ended up switching over to another company. We had plans all built out. It was going to just be beautiful. And there was some miscommunication, and I got about half the work that I expected to get done for double the amount of money that I actually had.
Mm.
And so there came this big bill, and I was like, wait a minute, I told you I only had this much money. And they said, but you told us to keep working. And there was just this major miscommunication in the transaction.
Mm.
And this part makes everybody very uncomfortable and makes everybody want to go get lawyers. But we we came to an agreement and we just sort of settled things. And so where we're at now with my app is that I'm in an extreme amount of debt
Oh
and
no.
I have an app in the App Store that's not great.
Mm,
So I have an online course. So I'm back to the online course and I do believe in my ideas and in my messages so much that this online course is just to show people what what could be.
mm,
And I know my app is going to come back around someday. Someday I'm going to have the funds to come back around and make this app what it really should be. And it's going to be just
mm.
this amazing tool in everybody's hand that gives them that diet freedom
Beautiful. So this app, where were the app developers located? Out in the US or outside of the US?
outside of the US,
Where?
Canada.
Oh my God. My countrymen failed you? Come on.
Like I said, it was a misunderstanding. They were really good at app developing. So, they were good at what they do. It was very unfortunate that they thought something different than what I thought. And
Mm,
so, yeah, it was bad. But, like I said, payment, it's really hard to make me mad. I don't get
mm,
mad because
mm.
there's no point in being mad.
Absolutely.
Like I could be mad about this, but that wouldn't change anything.
Bingo. Yep.
And so I'm not mad.
Mm,
I'm just looking for a new way forward because
absolutely.
people are going to love my app once it happens, but it's just didn't happen that way or that day or that year or
Mhm.
but there's no point being mad about it.
Yeah.
I was very disappointed. I was upset. I mean, I stopped contributing to my retirement for 3 years just
Oh
to
no.
keep paying for this thing. And so, but I tell you that because I think that if you really want to know who I am, then
Huh.
you need to know how much tenacity I have
Oh yeah. Can see
to
that.
apply 3 times to get the internship that I wanted and to pour so much into the app and then say, all right, fine, I'll set it aside, but I'm not done yet. I think that describes me better than I could ever describe me
Love
in
that. Great
words.
example. And you know, one of the best places in the world to get some really smart app developers at a fraction of the cost is right here in Vietnam. So when you're ready, you just come to
Okay.
me. I will
Okay.
I know quite a
Okay.
few developers right here. So yeah.
Gee, well, we should talk because it's still my baby. I'm still paying to have it hosted, so someone could still download it. I'm not giving up on it, but I don't tell people to go download it because it's not useful.
Mm,
It's not, it's not useful. I don't want to use it right now, so I'm not going to tell you to go use it now, but I'm not giving up on it.
how much did you spend on it so far?
Approximately $200,000.
What?
Yeah,
You could buy a house for that.
I know. Don't tell me that.
You can build a
I know.
conglomerate of app developers here, right here.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
I'm sorry
So,
to hear that. Wow. What kind of app are you building? An app for NASA or
it's
something?
it's my sob story.
Wow.
It's a great tool.
Mm,
I like to think of it as a meal planning tool. It's not a
mm,
meal tracker where meal trackers are all about shaming you for what you've done.
mm.
And
Yeah.
it's only a matter of time until you are shamed, even if you keep doing things right. And the moment you mess up, you are shamed by your app. So my app helps you plan balanced meals using foods you enjoy
Wow.
without
Amazing.
shaming you.
Yeah. Wow. Perfect. There's a saying that says, change your story, change your life. So when you're at the lowest moment, darkest moment of your life so far, How did you change your story to change your life? I mean, how did you change the story you're telling yourself internally to change your life externally?
Mm. I think that the way that I'm an optimist, and I think that my optimism is what gets me through anything, is saying, what can I learn from this?
Mm,
How has this experience made me a better person?
mhm,
Um, and just reflecting on that, like actually looking back, asking the question, what am I learning from this? Not just waiting for that answer to land in your brain. You have to actually ask, what am I learning from this? How is this going to make me a better person?
mm.
And so I think that I'm thinking about all of the tough times I've had in my life and how much stronger and smarter it's made me.
Beautiful. Love that. Let's move forward.
Stronger, smarter, more patient.
Mm.
Yeah.
Was there any moment that you were, I know you said you're resilient, you don't give up. Was there any moment in the darkest of darkest times that you considered, hey, or even wondered, is this worth continuing? Should I change course? Should I not give up, but go in a different direction?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's what I've done when things go bad, right? You go, what do I have to do to make this different? Um, I suppose you brought to mind a time when I thought in my next life, and I used to close my eyes and think about what my next life was going to be like.
Let me guess, you'll be an app developer?
I'll be no, no, I won't.
Sorry,
I'm
couldn't
going to
help it.
be
Couldn't help it.
a coconut farmer.
Hey, that's beautiful. We need coconuts, you know? The world needs coconut.
That sounds like a relaxing life. That's just about my pace that I would like.
Wow. You know, one of the things that completely changed my life was understanding that nothing happens to you but for you, and to ask better questions, more empowering questions, instead of asking why, what this happened, what did I do to deserve this. One thing that
Mm.
literally changed my life, transformed and saved it, literally was asking two powerful questions. Doesn't matter what I went through, what you're going to look at things from the perspective of what is this trying to teach me? What is a lesson for me to learn to this? Because life is a school. We come here to learn, grow, become better and wiser. But that's only 5% of what we are here. The 95% is taking those gifts, those wisdoms, those lessons, sharing them with others around you and around the world. So, this is an incredibly powerful story. You just shared spending $200,000 on an app that is not finished. You can really milk that in a positive way. I'm not joking. Making it part of your marketing message, lessons I learned after spending $200,000, on an app. So if you look at this through the lens of what is this trying to teach me? What is a lesson for me to learn to that? What would be your answer? First of all, do you see that when you look at this from the perspective of this being an invaluable, priceless lesson? Do you see it that way now? Do you see it in a different light than just some guy, some company trying to screw you? There's a higher purpose for everything. What is the higher purpose of this? This is basically what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah, yeah. And I've been trying to think about that,
Mm.
because this was a big lesson, so I really need to make sure that I learn learn something from it. So I think one thing that I've learned is okay, so here you go. You've heard of imposter syndrome,
Hmm.
right? This is where we don't feel like we are adequate enough to
Mm.
help another, right? Um, I started to think, gosh, do I have like the opposite of that problem? Do I just think that like, I my idea is the best?
We all do.
Well, and I think that what I learned is that I don't know how to do a lot of things. Um, and that I need to learn how to tr I don't want to say trust, but I don't know how to say it, Payman. I'm still trying to figure out like what is the lesson that I learned? The lesson that I learned is that I don't actually know anything about apps. And so what makes me think that I was just going to go out there and build one and everyone was going to love it? Like I needed to take a step back and say, Toby, you're not that big yet. You're just not. And I just kept saying, but my idea is great and I believe in my idea and everybody needs to know this and it's gonna be great. And the logistics of it all, it's kind of like my dream was overshadowing the logistics that actually needed to happen and that I did not know how to do. And people would ask me questions like, well, how are you going to make money on that? And I would just say, I don't really know yet, but that's okay because I'm just going to do this because people need it.
Mm.
And I just kind of had like too much faith in, I don't know, the universe just making it all happen for me. And so, like, the lesson that I learned is, Toby, you don't actually know how business works. You are a good dietitian and you are good at teaching and you're good at communicating and talking with people. Um, but you don't actually know anything about developing and selling an app. And there's people out there that do, and maybe you should talk to them. Maybe you should learn a little something before you jump in with such a big investment. So I
Mhm.
think that's the big lesson that I learned so far.
Hey, that's a powerful lesson, as long as you learn something valuable and you can apply it next. Because in life and in business, it's very important to know what to do. But you know what's 10 times more important? To know what not to do and not to say. So, what's an expert? An expert is someone that mastered all the different ways to fail. That's what an expert is. Seriously,
I like that.
seriously. So don't beat yourself down. Yes, that was a powerful lesson, expensive lesson. But when you look at this from the perspective of the gift that this blessed you with, it's going to be a very inexpensive lesson. Inexpensive. And the grander scheme of things. When you look at the lessons you learn is going to allow you to become the person you're meant to be. It's going to allow you to become the multi-millionaire that you already are in the 5D. Once you realize that, wow, that's a peanuts, pocket change. It's okay.
Well, oops, you know, oh, you made me think of something, but then it went away. Oh, it was just that being in this much debt
Mm,
with no product to like currently help offset it. I'm highly motivated
hmm.
to get my message out there another way.
Yes.
And so, that was just kind of one iron in the fire. And so
Yeah.
I'm completely motivated. So that's another gift, I suppose, that this mess has given me is
Yeah.
I'm highly motivated to share my message in other ways that are probably going to connect with people a little bit better.
You just found, you paid a little bit of money to learn what you really love doing. And if that allows you to find your purpose, then the heck with it. It was worth it,
Yeah. We're all going to
because
die anyways, right? Debt
money
or
is
no debt.
energy. Money is energy, comes and goes. The fast goes, stays fast, comes back. But what really remains is the lessons, the wisdoms, the gifts. These are things that nobody, and I mean, nobody can take those away from you.
Hmm.
And they will carry with you into the next life and the next life and next life. And your, what do you call it? Eternal baggages, so to speak. Positive baggages, not negative baggages. So yeah, it's
Souvenirs.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. Your footprint in a positive way.
Yeah.
And this is I learned that also, not as that way, but a different way, that it's best to focus on what you're really good at. Just like the Japanese says, the ikigai. Find what's your ikigai. Something you love, you're good at, people need, and people are ready, willing, and able to pay for.
Mm-hmm.
Stick to that. I call it, the Japanese call it the ikigai. I call it finding your zone of genius. What is your zone of
Mm-hmm.
genius? So it's your gifts. And that's what I do in my business. I help my clients identify the zone of genius, and then we build a business that offer the messaging around the zone of genius. All they have to do is just share the story speaking from the heart. And by doing so, they will not only display the expertise, but also, most importantly, build trust and rapport. Because business, it's all about, especially high ticket business, all about one thing and one thing only. Start with a T, ends with a T, 5 letters. Can you guess what that is?
Starts with a T.
T, ends with a T, 5 letters.
Talk. No, I don't know.
Trust, you know?
Trust. Sorry. Sorry.
Do, 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 do.
Trust.
Okay, no. So it's all about
Like
trust.
talking.
Talking is part of it. Because
Yeah.
again, how do you build trust? You build trust by building rapport. How do you build rapport?
Patience.
By simply having conversations, even more heart-to-heart conversation, sharing your story. And the best platform to do so is this. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So we'll have a chat after, but listen, you're on the right track. You're actually, we are all where we are meant to be. There's no point, just like you said earlier, to getting upset, because getting upset or angry, it's not going to change anything. Instead, surrender, accept it, move on with it, trust the universe that everything's going to work out for you in the end. One of my favorite mantras, everything works out for me. And I've seen that and countless times in my life. I can write an actual book on the things that I've seen in my own life by surrendering, completely taking care of himself magically.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Oh,
not
I
saying
I count my blessings every day. You
exactly.
know, I got into a financial mess. I had to move in with my parents, but look, I have this beautiful office. My parents happen to have a beautiful home that has enough space for myself, my husband, and our dog. And what a blessing. What a blessing. And I get to be here with my parents in their later years of
Blessing
life.
in
Like that
disguise.
is such a
Yes.
blessing.
Yes. Spending quality
So
time
for
with
sure.
parents, that's actually a beautiful gift. Blessing in
Yeah.
disguise, you know?
My mom will be 79 years old on New Year's Eve.
To
And
another 1,000 years for her. My best wishes for her in advance for another 1,000
thanks.
years of those, you know?
Thanks. Thanks. Yeah. So that's super fun to be here and be able
Oh,
to
absolutely.
celebrate that with her.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Cool. Awesome. Now, tell us about, oh, one last question I have that I couldn't
Okay.
help answering. The coach that you mentioned that suggested for you to build an app, was he the one that recommended those guys?
No.
Oh, thank God. Okay.
No.
Because I could
No.
see my naughty man was going, maybe he got a kickback from those 200,000. I'm just joking. I'm just being crazy here, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
No.
uh,
No. No.
okay. Okay. Good. 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 Listen, amazing that you're looking at things from this perspective. Now, tell us more about your business. What is your impact, and how are you making the world a better place around you and around the world 1% at a time?
Yes. So, in my 12 years of working with people one-on-one, there was a common theme among 90% of the people, and that was a desire to lose weight.
Mhm.
And if you've ever looked into the statistics on how well diets work to provide a person with sustainable weight loss, it's just about zero. So
Mm,
diets don't work. They
mm.
can shrink people in the short term. They can get weight off of a person.
I like how you said shrink. Okay.
But what they don't do is they don't change behavior long term.
Hmm.
And so we know that, I mean, from scientific, rigorous research, that behavior change is the only way we're going to make this sustainable.
Mm.
And so we have all of these diets out there, and I don't care what diet you name, Every diet out there has some element of restriction. They're either going to restrict the food you're eating, the time you can eat it, how much of it you can eat, right? They're going to restrict something. Everybody's going to put their spin on it. We'll restrict carbs, we'll restrict fats, everybody's got their own way. But at the end of the day, they're all restrictive, right?
Wait, Toby. Are you saying there's a way for me to eat all the pizzas, all the pastas, all the ice creams, all the beers, all the wines, all the bread, all the beautiful, delicious things and still lose weight? Shut
Yes.
your money. Come on. Tell me more. Tell us more.
Yes. Yes. You can eat all the pizza you want. Um, so the opposite end of restrictive dieting, we call it intuitive eating. I don't know if you've heard this phrase before,
Well, right now,
but
you're the one that
okay,
mentioned it.
intuitive eating. I have a book on my shelf called Intuitive Eating. It's a thing. This is the idea of eating whatever you want, whenever you want, however much you want, right? So that's a total opposite of restrictive dieting. So this is where you want to be, right? You want to be on the intuitive eating end of things. You just told me, oh, you mean I could have all of the things I ever wanted? And I said, yes. So you want to be an intuitive eater. But
Mm.
if all I said to you was, Payman, you can be an intuitive eater. Just listen to yourself. Just listen to your body. Bye. You don't really have the tools to help you make that transition, especially if you're someone who has been on a restrictive diet over and over for years and years, right? Like
Mm.
most of my clients have been on diets, they've tried all the different ways and it's still not working. They come to me and they say, gosh, I'd love to be an intuitive eater, but
Mm.
I need more structure than that. I, that's too loosey goosey. Eat whatever I want. That's how I got here in the first place, right? And so they say, I need more structure. But the structure provided by all these other restrictive diets is too much structure.
Mm.
Because as soon as I go to my friend's house, I've just thrown it all out the window and now I'm off my diet, right? Or as soon as I go on vacation, it's all out the window. It's kind of that black and white, all or nothing thinking. And so what I've done, my zone of genius, is to create a model to help people understand how their food feels to
Mm.
them so that they have the structure to say, when I eat this, I feel like this. And that's because according to this model, I can see why I feel that way. And so if I don't want to eat, let's do real examples because this is kind of getting abstract. So let's say that an apple has some carbs and some fiber, right? So carbs are going to give our brain some energy. It's going to pick us up a little bit. We're going to get a little brain energy. We're going to feel a little bit happier. And the fiber from the apple is going to kind of fill up the stomach and stretch that stomach lining. And that's going to send a signal to the brain that says, "Oh, we're filling up. We're getting full."
Mm.
Right? So when you eat an apple, do you like apples?
I love apples, especially green ones.
Okay, great. Okay. So you eat an apple, it makes your brain a little happy, you perk up a little bit, and your tummy feels a little full. Now you don't feel completely satisfied. This isn't an entire meal. I would still need a little something else, right? But if I just gave you another apple, you'd be like, well, don't really need another apple, right? So intuitively, you know that having another apple is not what's going to turn your hunger, resolve your hunger for you. You need something else. If you're someone who's been on a diet, on a low fat diet, you might be like, oh, I don't know what else to eat. I guess I'll just eat more apples because I'm afraid to eat anything with more fat in it, right?
Mm.
But fat is so satisfying. If I gave you some peanut butter, do you like peanut butter?
Mm-hmm. Yes, I
Okay.
do.
If I gave you some, if I gave you some peanut butter with your apple, that's much more satisfying. I'm like, oh, okay, I don't need anything for a couple hours now, right? I'm more satisfied. Now we take the keto people, right? Let's take the low carb people. Oh, everybody, the low carb people, they get very defensive. So this is where like yeah, okay. So this is where the audience starts getting all twitchy when I start talking about keto. So in keto, apples are very limited, right? Like, are we even allowed to eat apples on keto?
I do. I don't mind. I do. So
Okay,
apples, and
that's not really keto then, but
I need my
um,
salad on the side, but I love my meat, but I need my salad.
okay. So if we just give you meat and salad,
Mm.
and we don't give you any carbs, now you were pointing to yourself like you're somebody who's done the keto diet before.
Just a quick story. So when I eat so-called carbs after lunch, I need to have a nap, and every
Yes,
hour I get hungry. I need to munch. I'm never
yes,
full.
yes.
But when I tried the keto diet last year for a couple of months, I would skip breakfast. I still skip breakfast. One big steak, four eggs, and some salad on the side, and I would be completely full. No desire to sleep. Completely focused, energized. The first day, I heard the hard way that at 7 o'clock it's almost like a cliff. I almost collapsed, literally.
There you go. Yeah.
But then now I make when I was there, I made sure to eat. So at night I would have fish or chicken or something. I've had the best results when I did this, the all meat diet. But I stopped it. But I want to get back to it. So because I saw the results, at least for me, and I heard the stories, for example, of Jordan Peterson, his daughter, Dr. Sean Baker, Joe Rogan, and all those guys just swearing by it, swearing by the meat diet. But I get it; it's not been long enough, so we don't know what are the implications of eating only meat after 10, 20, 50, 30 years. So, what are your thoughts and
Well,
feelings
and so
on
that's
that?
why, Payman, I want to bring a balance to it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's when you're trying to follow that diet, it's really hard because there's things with carbs in them that you want to eat.
Mm-hmm. Oh, my pasta,
Yeah.
pizza,
And
burgers.
we're
Yeah.
we're only here for what, like, 90 plus, 90, 92 years,
Yeah.
94 years.
Blink
Like
of an
we
eye.
should be able to eat pasta, right? We're not going to live to be 150 if we don't eat pasta. We know that.
Yeah. But one thing they were saying is that they were seeing the best when it comes to losing weight, even effortlessly
Yeah.
by just being on a keto diet. I didn't do it long enough to see
Yes.
that, but I'm willing to give it another go.
Well, and to that I say that that's a really narrow view of the outcome of a keto diet.
Mm,
We see dramatic reductions in blood sugar
okay.
and we see reductions in weight. And those two things are huge, especially over here in this country. Holy moly, if we could get blood sugar and weight down, like billions of dollars would be saved if Americans had lower blood sugar and diets that supported a lower weight,
But you
right?
know who's not going to allow that? The pharmaceutical industries and the fast food lobbies, It's big money.
So, um, gosh, I keep forgetting what I'm saying. Um, so the keto, I forgot again.
What are your thoughts
Oh,
on
the
on
narrow view. I was talking about the narrow view
mm,
of the benefits of a keto diet,
mhm,
that they lower blood sugar and lower weight. But the broader view, if you take a step back and say, well, in order to be in ketosis for a long period of time, what does a real person walking around the real world have to do? What are they actually eating? What
mm,
we're seeing is crazy high cholesterol levels. We're seeing, phytonutrients, just we see gut health going, well, who cares about the gut health? Who needs any of those? So we see like all these other pieces to the
mhm,
person's health falling away for
mhm.
sake of the blood sugar and losing weight. And I don't love that message. I get to see what it does to people on like what do they call it? Boots on the ground. Like I'm talking to the people who tried that diet and it messed them up. Not only their guts and their cholesterol level, but also it scrambled their brains about what's healthy anymore. They're afraid to eat fruit.
So what's the answer, Doc?
Well, my answer is the big four. I call it the big four. It's really simple. It's really easy. It's already stuff you already know. Whenever I'm teaching this, people say, this makes so much sense. And I say, well, good, because it should make sense. This should not be something foreign. It's eating. Like we do this. But we've just been brainwashed and confused about how to do it. So I created a model. I call it the Big Four. The Big Four organizes our foods so that we can understand how it's going to make me feel. If it's not an apple, what else could it be? Oh, it could be an ear of corn. Both of those foods have something in common. They're both going to give me some carbs for some energy. They're both going to give me some fiber to feel full. So when people say, because you're not the only one who says, I get really tired if I eat carbs. Okay. But that is possibly an imbalance of your big four ratio. So if I sit down, and in Portland, we have this place called the Spaghetti Factory.
Oh, I love that.
And because it is in this country, the spaghetti factory has plates that, you know, these huge dishes of pasta up to here. And I'm pretty sure that's not how Italians eat pasta,
Yeah.
but no. And so it's really the ratios is what's out of balance. And so when you go and you do carbs, if you're not balancing it properly with your fiber, your fat, and your protein, then yeah, you're not going to get the benefits we're looking for. But I
Mm,
do think that it's entirely possible to eat carbs and lose weight, to eat fats and lose weight, to eat dessert and lose weight.
yeah. I'm very active. I do over 10,000, sometimes 15,000 steps a day.
Good for you.
I I picked up here pickleball, which is smaller tennis.
Super
Absolutely
fun.
loving it. But I'm still not losing. I want to lose about 20, 30 pounds around my stomach. So that's a part that's not just going away.
Yes, and the older we get, I'm sorry, but the harder it is. When you're in your 20s, if you wanted to lose weight, you just said it and you could lose weight, right? Like I want to lose
Yeah.
weight. Oh, okay. But but it's harder and harder. And so that's why people get frustrated when they say everything I used to do doesn't work anymore.
Mm,
And so what we really need is we need something that's more sustainable, something that I can do for the rest of my life, that's just my new way of living that I enjoy and feels good
makes sense. Yeah. Wow.
for the rest of your life. That's why I say if you can't follow your plan for the rest of your life, then there's no point in even doing it because you're going to lose it and gain it back. That's what the research has showed us over the last 50 years of people dieting.
Mm,
That's what happens. I
yeah.
think it's like 1% of people maintain their weight loss after 2 years. Very small.
Yeah. Just like you said, it's easy to lose it, but then to keep it that way, that's a trick.
Yes. Right.
Ah.
Right. And we always want things so instant. And so a nice restrictive crash diet is really tempting. I just want to lose those 20, 30 pounds and I'll do anything to get there. And that's fine. And now these days we have the GLP-1s that are helping people to get there. But you still need to know how to eat.
Like for example, I've been cutting sugar for the longest time, and last night, I couldn't resist. I went to the supermarket. I bought a bunch of sweets and chocolates and cookies.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're still sitting here. I haven't even touched them yet.
That's
But
good. It's hard to stop once you get into them.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Amazing. Tell us about how do you help your clients? Well, tell us about your program.
Yeah, so I have come full circle and I'm back around. I've got an online course. Um, and I really love it because it's like all of my favorite messages wrapped up into a 6-week program, and it builds on itself. Each lesson builds, and we really just start off with a lot of awareness, becoming aware of yourself, your
Mm.
hunger cues, your signals for fullness. What's normally on your plate? What are some of the restrictions you experience? Just really, being aware of your situation. A lot of times people say, "Well, I would eat healthier, but my husband doesn't want to eat that, or my kids don't want to eat that."
Yeah.
And so we need to be aware of that that's an issue.
Mm.
Um, then we work into the big four and help people find new ways of finding fiber to add to their life because most people don't get enough fiber. Um, I have you go through the fat experiment where you get to experiment with different amounts of fats and you find what I call your happy place and find how much fat it takes to make you happy, considering all the other things. Um, and then we do some meal planning just to kind of how do I make this happen at my house? Now that I have this knowledge about what a balanced meal looks like, how do I make that happen at my house? Um, and I really love this model because I've used it with people with lots of allergies.
Mhm.
Oh, I can't eat this, I can't eat that. Well, if you look at I don't know what it's like in Vietnam, but the American food pyramid, there's like whole groups that people don't eat. And it's like they look at that and they just kind of toss it out. They're like, I don't eat this stuff. But with my model, everyone can find something to eat that they like.
Mm.
You don't have to eat things you don't like. I will not push kale on anyone. And you don't have to give up your desserts. You just have to understand how they fit into your big four.
Mm. Beautiful.
So that's the course. You can take the course. Right now we're doing when you get the course, you also get to pop on to Zoom with me every week. And we go through some exercises and talk with the community, and that's kind of some good time to get me, if you have any particular questions as you're going through the course. So I'm here to support people. I just wanted to find a way for more
Mm.
people to access those messages.
How long is your program?
It can be done in 6 weeks. I do encourage people to take as much time as they need to really build that awareness and build some of those. Um, because the program is based on everything that I teach,
Mhm.
I typically would see my clients one-on-one every other week. So I kind of
Mm.
give them 2 weeks to do, every lesson. So, people are going to do what they're going to do, and it's fine if you want to go through it quickly. If you buy the course, you can watch them over again. You can do it as many times as you want. Um, but really, it's just meant to give you that information for you to take home and try on for size, see how it feels, find what feels right to you, and then you start to just be more intuitive about it. And then you don't need the tools as much. And so while a program like Weight Watchers or Noom
Mm.
requires that you stick with them in order to stick with the program, they have a much better business model. That's why they're the millionaires and I'm not. But I truly
Yet,
believe that
that's a key word.
once you learn this about yourself, you
Hmm.
don't unlearn that. You don't unlearn that stuff. It's
Hmm.
in you forever. So it's a gift that I give you for the rest of your life. And you know what? There's plenty of people on this planet that I can be a millionaire just teaching this.
You're on the right track. You're on the right track. Just be resilient, just like you always say, and you're there. You're there. You'll be there in no time
Yeah.
because you have the
Yep.
passion, the energy, the smile, the resilience. It's a matter of putting it together.
It's gonna happen.
Oh, it's
Yep.
happened
Just gotta meet
already.
all the right people.
It's happened already. It's happened already in here. So
Life.
awesome, awesome. How are you getting your clients?
Um, so yeah, that's a tough one. Right now I am just kind of reaching out to people I know.
Mm.
This is kind of a very different thing. It's a very different way to think about food. It's not just, another magic bullet for weight loss. And so I think that the messages I have to share are much better spread by word of mouth, by people talking about their experience of the freedom they've found in eating and losing weight at the same time. So I need to get some of my testimonials recorded. HIPAA. So we have this thing called HIPAA, and it prevents us. It's a big acronym. Um, it's like Health Insurance Privacy Something Act,
Okay.
like portable information. Anyway, HIPAA is all the private protected health information. That's what it is, health information protection. Um, and so I've never felt comfortable recording my patients. But now I'm starting to ask people if they would just share their experience for other people who might want to purchase the course. So it's a different thing to try to
Mhm.
sell, It's healthy nutrition.
Yeah.
It's a hard sell.
Done the right way. Yeah. Just I gotta find the right angle and the right people, and it's gonna be a lot easier than you think, especially once you leverage this the right way.
Mhm.
We'll have a chat after to show you. I'll give you some ideas, couple of ideas. But yeah, you just keep going. Your message is really valuable because this is, especially in the US and even in Canada and most of the Western world, people are in desperate need of, dieting the right way, understanding what they eat and how to eat effectively without being restrictive. I love what you said, the intuitive eating. Gonna look it up, learn more about it myself. Because nobody likes to restrict themselves of their favorite food. Just like you said, we're not here long enough, and hey, why make it harder? You
Mhm.
know? So yeah, I love that. Love that. Love that. Love that. Now, share with us an example of the most transformational example you've had from one of your clients going through your program.
Most transformational.
Almost inspirational. Yeah, something that really stands out.
Um, yeah, I mean, I think the most inspirational are those folks who were put on a diet when they were 9 years old. A lot of these ladies were put on a diet by their mom when they were 9 years old. And back in the 70s, that was the worst thing you could be, was fat. And so, if a mother had a fat daughter, boy, oh boy, that was just that was a reflection of her, even.
Mhm.
And so, a lot of my ladies have been given these really awful messages from
Mm,
a very young age,
mm,
that it's their fault that they are the size they are. It's because they ate bad things. I mean, just really negative messages. Um, and and when I'm thinking of a woman right now that ended up, I met her when she was in her 50s, and she had just wrapped up her most recent cancer treatment. And so here she was, she's battling cancer. And the treatment for cancer is horrible. If the cancer doesn't kill you, the treatment will. And, that throws off your body's systems. So she started to see some elevated blood sugars with some insulin resistance. It's just like, oh, my body's not optimally working. And the only message she ever gets from her doctor is, well, you need to lose weight. Well, you need to lose weight.
mhm.
And it's so frustrating to her because she's like, look, you think I haven't tried? Like, I've been on a diet since I was 9. I have tried to lose weight. And so you telling me that I need to lose weight, you are not telling me anything I don't know, and you're not helping me. So she came to me, and we had to work really hard to pull those messages out of her, her language, her vernacular.
Mhm.
Just we need to stop talking about food like that. And we need to start being more descriptive about what you're doing. We need more fiber, not less cookies, right? We need to have more filling. We need to feel more full. She lost about 50 pounds and to this day will say, and I never felt like I was on a diet.
Wow.
And that's the key right there.
Mhm.
And I never felt like I was on a diet. So I could sit and tell you, the transformations, the pounds that have been lost, and the amount of time. And that's what every other diet likes to brag about. But what I like to brag about is that every one of my patients, my clients, every one of my people, whether they've lost 10 pounds or 50 pounds, they all say that I don't feel like I'm on a diet.
That's amazing. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is a message that the world needs more. What are you waiting for? We are waiting for your message, Toby.
I know. Where are you? I have it for you.
Wow. Amazing. Amazing. Love that. Love that. Cool. What's your website?
So it's eatingisalifestyle.com because
Okay.
eating needs to be our lifestyle. Eating is our life. Eating's my lifestyle. I don't know. I sometimes people don't love food as much as I do, but eating is my lifestyle. Eatingislifestyle.com. I've got an Instagram page and a Facebook page. I've also got a Facebook group. And my Facebook group is called Sustainable Weight Loss Unrestricted. Because that's what we're doing. We're working towards a sustainable way of eating that allows you to lose weight and not be restricted.
What's your website again? Eating as lifestyle?
Eating is a
Oh, is. Oh, sorry, my bad.
lifestyle.
Okay. Eating is a lifestyle. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, oh,
On
wow.
there, you can check out my podcast. You can get a link to the app. You can see it exists, but I don't blame you if you don't spend too much time. Um, yeah, our podcast is on there. You can also connect with me, send me an email, book a
Mhm.
call.
Awesome. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it.
Thank
Absolutely
you.
love that. This is seriously, this is kind of message that the world needs. And yeah, I'm glad that you came here today. And yeah, awesome. Now, let's move forward. To finish, I'd like to ask you another series of rapid fire questions. Ready?
Oh, okay.
But this time on advices. Okay. What's the
Okay.
best piece of advice you've received so far in your life?
Best piece of advice? I don't know, but this is rapid fire. So growing up, we had one rule in my house. Don't get caught.
Oh, I like that. That could be an entire episode on that alone.
I'll
All the
leave it at
things
that.
you got away with it. Okay, that could be another episode. Awesome. What's the worst piece of advice you received so far?
Oh, fake it till you make it.
Amazing. Love that. Imagine that you were blessed with a time machine and you could go back in time and sit face to face with an 18-year-old Toby. What's the number one piece of advice you would give to her knowing all that you know now? Don't get caught and fake it till you make it.
18-year-old Toby,
Yes.
shit can happen to you, girl.
Oh, yeah.
Watch out.
Mhm.
Shit can happen to you.
Don't get caught and fake it till you make it. Hey, she'll be all right. All right, cool. You do have your podcast. So now imagine that today your podcast is very powerful, very influential, very successful, and you're interviewing the most special person in the world, and that is yourself. What's the first question you want to ask yourself? First thing that comes to mind.
What do you really want in life?
And what is your answer?
Oh, I have to answer it too.
Of course. Come on. I'm not going to let that go.
Ah, I want a slow life.
Mm.
I want to wake up slow. I want to go through the morning slow. I want to go through the afternoon slow, and
La
then a
dolce
slow
vita.
evening.
La dolce vita, in other words.
What is that?
La dolce vita, like it's in Italian, is like the sweet life.
Dolce vita. Okay, yeah. Then that's what I
Maybe,
want. La dolce
maybe,
vita.
maybe become a coconut farmer, you know?
Coconut. See, that's why I want to be a coconut farmer. That sounds like a sweet life.
I'll have a coconut today and I'll send you a picture of it because you're gonna make me want to have a coconut today. Toby, wish you were here. Come here.
Right? Oh,
Then when you come
I'd
here, you can
love
have all the
that.
coconuts you want. I'll introduce you to all the developers you want. How's that for motivation?
All the cheap app developers and coconuts, let me at
And by
it.
the beach, beautiful, sunny,
Oh,
affordable place, amazing people, friendly and safe, and so on and so forth.
sounds
Anyway, that's a different
awesome.
story. The last question I ask all my guests, and that's my favorite question, that is, what is the smallest thing you've done that has had the greatest, deepest, most profound positive impact in both your life and business? For example, for me, it's been starting my podcast. What about you, Toby?
Okay, one more time. What's the smallest thing that I've
Thing,
done that's had the biggest impact?
biggest positive impact in your life, and both your life and your business.
Um, Building relationships.
Oh, yes. I love that. Love that.
That's
Love.
that's the key. There is no business without relationships.
Absolutely. It's all about relationships, trust, rapport. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Awesome. If someone wants to reach out to you, what's the best way to do so?
You know what that eatingisalifestyle.com
Website,
has
yeah,
a
yeah.
little contact button. You can send me an email. Love to hear from you. My email address is toby at eatingisalifestyle.com. So that's if that's easier to remember. Connect with me on Facebook.
Yeah,
I'm here, I'm around, I'm easy to talk to, and just wanna get this awesome tool out into everybody's hands.
absolutely. Message in a bottle, pigeon, fire, other ways to reach out to you, you know?
Let's all of them. Podcasts.
Oh, what's your podcast name?
Eating is a lifestyle.
Love that. Love that. Listen, Toby, I salute you. You truly do with a heart. I love your energy, your passion, your smile, your positivity, your resilience, and all that. You're truly do with a heart. Keep shining your light. Keep blessing the world with presence, your impact, your smile, and everything you're doing. Keep sharing your gifts loud and proud around you and around the world. And also, never forget, you, Toby, you're a gift. So keep it up like this. Keep positive. The keyword is yet. You will become, you're not a multimillionaire yet, but you are on the way. You're already there and right here. Now it's just a matter of taking it from here to here. So you
Yes.
know what to do. You've got it. I'm cheering for you.
Thank
Stay
you.
safe, stay awesome. God bless, and talk to you very, very soon, my friend. Take care.
Thank
Goodbye.
you so much.
Very welcome.